Let's talk about it. 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 On the field.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so excited about my guest today. But before I even get into my guest, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of you. We have so much to be thankful for. And I just want, in spite of all the things that have happened over the year and the past couple of years, we still have so much to be thankful for. As long as we have life, we have hope. And I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. And please think about your blessings. Think about all the things that God has done for you. I am very grateful. And I am so thankful for my guest. I'm going to pull her up and we're going to talk. Hello, Dr. Angela.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great, Vera. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
I am excited to have you here, and I'm going to take a few minutes and share with our audience from your words to their ears.
Okay.
Exactly what you have said.
Okay.
So Dr. Angela Harden-Mack wears many hats. She says, I have an extraordinary life. I'm fortunate to have achieved all my life goals, and I'm growing to higher levels and manifesting more. As a young girl of 10, she dreamed of what she wanted in life and set goals to make dreams come true. Using her unique skill set as physician, Bible teacher, and author, she has birthed a career inspiring and empowering people for more than 25 years. Her education, experience, and expertise inspires and empowers people to get healthy, achieve wellness and wholeness, dream, set goals, and live great lives.
Yeah.
She says, think of me as Dr. A, the professor of personal achievement and success. Yes. I am just so honored that you're here with me today. Yes. And you know what? I'm going to give you the floor.
Okay.
And I am going to let you share with our audience more about Dr. Angela Harden-Mack.
Well, thank you, Vera, and to your audience, hello and good evening. And it's so exciting to be here. And I'm so thankful for this season of Thanksgiving where we have the opportunity to love on each other. We do this every day anyway, but in this season, it gives us the opportunity to pause and reflect even more. So today, as I share with you some of my history, my life, what I am and how I got to this place, my life is one of thanksgiving. I give all glory and honor to God because it's in Him that I live, I move, and I have my being. Without Him, I am nothing. Because of Him, I am everything. I am a native of Highland Park, Michigan. And for those of you who are familiar with Detroit, you know that Highland Park is a small city actually within Detroit. Grew up there. Very close-knit family, lived there until I graduated high school and still tight with people from the community. So I think of myself as a little girl from Highland Park, humble beginnings. My story is about food stamps and free lunch to physician. That's really my story. We as a family, very humble beginnings, working class family. And my parents, we didn't have a lot starting off. My parents were very positive. My parents always set goals to do more. And my dad actually achieved all of his degrees while working sometimes 2 jobs to take care of the family. My mom is a powerhouse. She has an entrepreneurial spirit, and she did things like she sold Tupperware, she sold deco plants, she sold Avon. My mom was about making sure that home was covered. So her goal and dream was to make sure her kids had that good foundation, to make sure we knew that we were special. My parents told us all the time, I love you, I'm proud of you, brothers and sisters. We hug each other often and kiss and cousins. So they were a great team. Again, the love education was important, and coming together and saying that it's about being positive. When we were younger, I was younger, there was a time when we had some financial reversals. Dad was laid off. And so I remember him taking us to the unemployment office. So we knew what it was, how you had to fill out forms and to do things. We were on, if those of you know about welfare, we were on welfare for a minute. We had food stamps. And I remember that people didn't treat us that nicely. You know, when we would go to the grocery store, you could tell that the cashiers and even some of the guests in the stores will look at the customers who had the food stamps. If you remember Monopoly money, each denomination is a different color. And I made the decision, I didn't like how I felt. I didn't like how people treated us. And I didn't want that funny money. So one of my goals early on was I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to be in a place where I used that funny money, that colored money. And sometimes the cashiers would just get real particular about it, sometimes tear it out of the book real at a slow pace and put it down on the counter like they were playing cards. If you play cards, you know, people go, like slap it down. And I was like, really? So I didn't like the way that they treated us. At home, I'm loved on, and school teachers and community, and then to get into society where it wasn't always a good place to feel, or did not always feel good. So from food stamps and to free lunch, because we also were eligible for free lunches as well, I set goals and I made decisions. I made decisions about what I wanted in life. My parents, very positive, optimistic. It was always about dream. Think about what you want in life. We are all avid readers. So some of our weekends were spent curling up with a book. And my parents, again, education was important. I was a great student in school. The teachers would say, you know, she talks a little too much sometimes. I would finish out my work, you know, and then I would tell the other kids, oh, hey, come on, you know, come on, we got to do some stuff. But I always did well in school. And so I thought about what I wanted to do. I thought about the type of life that I wanted. And when I was 10 years old, my mom had this really beautiful, we had a medical book at home, and it had colored pictures in the middle. And there were pictures of the body and pictures of a pregnant woman. And so I looked at this and I said, I wanted to do this. I want to be a doctor. And initially I wanted to be an obstetrician because I wanted to birth babies. Now, I'm the first doctor in the family, but my mother is the first healer. And when I tell you that she is the healer extraordinaire, she was reading Garden of Eden. We were eating wheat bread and having vegetarian meals way before it became in vogue. And we thought Mama would actually like, what is going on with Mama? But she truly is. Mama's still with us. Dad isn't. But Mom was a woman before her time. So all of this exposure, my first job in high school, I was working at a hospital and I stood on the steps and I saw the doctors walking past in white coats. Now I'm about 15 at the time, either 14 or 15, made the decision to be a doctor when I was 10. I stood on those steps outside of that auditorium and I said, I'm going to be here one day. I will be in my white coat. And I stood there and kind of pulled my shirt. And lo and behold, about 15 years later, whatever the number was, I was in that hospital in my white coat and I stood there and I said, I'm here. So when I say, thank you, Vera, when I say in all glory to God, that positive thinking, setting goals, dreaming, and the power of manifestation, things that my parents taught me, and I learned over the years, it's real. It's real. So food stamps and free lunch to physicians. So that's kind of me, Vera.
Oh, that is so awesome. And what area are you practicing in?
Right now, I am obesity medicine. So that means I'm a weight management specialist. Prior to that, internal medicine and pediatrics. So it's been pretty interesting, a lot of fun, pretty busy.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And you talked about the visualization and being able to see what it is that you want and make it happen. And that reminds me of a poem. See your windows, see your life. Let me share that because it ties in with what it is that we're talking about. And so, audience, if I were to say to you, close your eyes and tell me how many windows you have in your living room. With your eyes open, you can see those windows, right? If you can see your windows, you can see your life. See the windows in any room with eyes open wide or shut tight. See the quality of your living by what you do or say. Do you see happiness or gloom in the life you live today? Are the clouds of despair the only thing you see? Do you wonder who cares to come and rescue me? If you can see your windows, you can see your life. You can change clouds to sunshine by doing what you feel is right. See the rainbows in your life, fleeting moments in your day. See the beauty you can find in what you do or say. We are what we think about. You are what you thought about each and
Yes.
every day. We live by faith, fear, or doubt, believing life is but one way. We can think ourselves into happiness, misery, or pain by seeing what we stand to lose or seeing what we stand to gain. If you can see your windows, you can see your life. Awareness is the key. You have the control. You can see your life right.
Yes, that's
I just
beautiful.
I just had to share that because that's what you're all about. And being able to visualize and help other people. How give us some tips and ideas on because people a lot of times they can't imagine being able to visualize what it is that they want. So how do you do that?
Yeah. Well, you think about it, even though people may not know it, we are bombarded literally with images constantly. Think about the commercials, think about our magazines. And now that we are in this era of social media and instant this and things are happening like this. So much information that we don't realize how many images. So visualization is the process where we fix our mind, so to speak, on an image. And so we think about, first thing we do is we think about what is it that I want? Do we want to think about the job, the career? Is it the love life? Like I talked at, success is like what's going on with your love life? Is it maybe health? Sometimes people say, I want to, and as a physician, right? People say, I want to be healthy. I want to feel better. I want to lose weight or whatever that is. Maybe it's that job or that car. And the more detail we give it, not just the detail of what we see, because it's really like, what am I seeing, so to speak, from my mind's eye? But then we want to be in it with our senses. Think about, what does it smell like? We think about, what will it feel like if I touch it? And so we take our time because it's not something you want to rush, and you add those details to it. And you can imagine either you're actually in the scene, let's say we're at the beach and we come out of maybe the villa, or we come out of the hotel room and the wind is blowing and we can feel the moisture in the air and it has that crisp smell and your sarong is, flowing, and you go out. Or you could imagine that you're watching yourself, you're out of your body. So either you're actually in the scene or you are watching yourself. So think about what you want and have details.
And it works. It works because long before I ever spoke on any stage, I saw myself doing it. I saw myself doing it. And so visualization is powerful. Now, how do you equate that with vision boards?
Vision board, they are very similar. So the vision board is a static image, right? So you take that board and it could be any size. It could be 8.5. You fold it up, put it here. It could be huge. You get pictures, you have words, and you have colors. Some of the resources talk about the different colors. And these are images of what you want to see, what you want to materialize and manifest. So it's static. When you talk about the visualization, think about it. It's like a movie. You can do real time because what you're doing is seeing it as if it's already there. See yourself on the beach. See yourself in the boardroom. See yourself at the table and you're at the head. See yourself walking down the aisle or 20 pounds lighter. So this real, dynamic, real time vision board, static, one point in time.
It works. I'm telling you, people don't understand. It works. Now, let me also say sometimes things don't happen as quickly or when we want them to because there are other factors. God is in control. And so take me. I've been after this for a long time, a long time. And, but things are just beginning to happen. But I've been visualizing and seeing and wanting and desiring and all that stuff. But sometimes there are other things that he wants us to do prior to, but in your case, you saw it, you saw it, you walked in it. And so people need to understand you got to walk in it. You got to, and I love the way you said you got to taste it, feel it. You know, you got to, all your senses have got to be involved in it. And just think, and it's exciting.
Yeah. Yes. And you bring up the other part of that. So it's not just the senses, but the emotion is important. Being excited. If I, would have said, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor. Ooh, okay. Wouldn't have happened that way. Our emotions, our excitement, it fuels it. And the more excited we are, the more enthusiasm. It's like rocket fuel. So when we infuse that vision, that visualization, that's the key. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. Yes, I want to be a doctor. I want to help people. I want to do this. I want to represent my mama and my daddy. Yes. And that emotion is so important. We have to be positive. We got to be positive, not negative, because negativity or pessimism will just repel or reject what we want.
Absolutely.
So
and you cannot have faith and doubt at the same time.
That's
it
right.
Doesn't work.
That's right. That's
it
right.
Doesn't work.
That's right.
So you got to walk in it. You got to believe it. You got to trust that this is the plan that God has for you, and walk in it. Now, before we got on, we talked about age, and I'm not going to disclose your age.
Thank you.
I'm not going to do that. I promise you, I'm not. But one of the areas that you do focus on are women over 40, because a lot of times people get stuck. And at certain ages, they feel like, well, I've lived my life. I've done everything, and may even feel we got some comments coming in. Let's see.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I can't pronounce your name.
She says hello. I can see it says hello.
Yeah, it says hello. And she says, I am a woman of a certain age. Okay. I think we all are.
Yes.
But age is just, age is just the number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Mindset. You are my mom. Yep. My mother said you are as old as you think you are. So if you take on and you want to act like you're older, then that's where you be. But if we, like I said, 40 is the new whatever, I'm like, yeah. So yeah, age is a number.
It is. And we, like I said, we can think ourselves into sickness and all kinds of other stuff. We can sit here right now and put our hands to our heads, close our eyes and say, I have a headache. And guess what?
Yeah.
We would have a head. That's how powerful our minds are. This is a great, I love this topic. In case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, we need it. Like you said, we as women, because we need that empowerment. We need that affirmation from our sisters. We need sister time. We need it. We need it.
So Lori, now we know your name. Lori, thank you for being here, and thank you for chiming in on this conversation. And if there's anything you want to say, do you have some concerns about being a woman of a certain age, and how has that impacted on you? And what are you doing being a woman of a certain age? What are you doing? So share that with us as we continue to talk.
Yeah, thank you, Lori.
Yes. Now you have all kinds of hobbies, and we talked about those things as well. And so, and again, people, I want you to understand, we're either green and growing or ripe and rotten. So
I like that. I like that.
So I didn't coin that, but I love it too. It's because we're either green and growing or ripe and rotten. So let's talk about all these things that you love to do, and maybe it will inspire others to think about doing them too.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about before we started horseback riding. So if I may take a couple minutes to share that, because that represents so many things for me. I am a city girl through and through. I told you I was born and raised in Highland Park, which is a city in Detroit. So I mean the entire thing, expressways, sidewalks, street lights. I grew up in the city. Going to an area where we talk about farms and farmland, that was very different for me. I embraced it and it was fun. Well, about 5 years ago, I took up horseback riding. And when I tell you, it is phenomenal. So to take the city girl, right, and to go to a farm and learn how to ride horses, that was major. I did it because it caused me to step outside of my comfort zone. It required courage. This is an animal, this huge animal. And to look at this animal, to walk up to it, and the animal's shoulder is like to my head, so, or my shoulder, and think, I have to get on this animal and I have to control it. And that was very daunting. And so you go through a series of things where your instructor is leading a horse. And I set that as a goal. I was like, I want to do this because I need to, again, I want to take my courage to another level. I'm going to do this. And so it's been amazing. You go through several levels and you learn things. I haven't been on in about a year, but I'm looking forward to next year getting back on it. So if you see some of my pictures, if you see me on that, and you see me in my helmet, because I'm riding English, there's a difference between English and Western. So if you see me with my helmet on, and you see me with my sleek riding pants and my chaps and my gloves, and you see me in a pose where I'm cantering, like, that's Dr. Air, that's Coach A, like, yes.
So an equestrian here.
Yes.
That's awesome. Hello, Felicia. Good evening, beautiful people. She says,
hello.
Hi, so glad you're here. Thank you. So you said something that I want others to let resonate. Step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Do something that you never did before, that you thought about. And even one way of stepping out of your comfort zone, everybody sleeps on the same side of the bed most of their lives. So a little step, try sleeping on the opposite side of the bed. And it's going to feel uncomfortable, but it's a step. It's a start. We go from point A to point B, and we usually always go the same route. Try going a different route to start stepping out of your comfort zone, and do things that you thought about but never did. You know, take a ride by yourself, do a long distance travel. You know,
it's fun. It's fun because, you know, like you said, stepping out. We don't grow. I like what you mentioned about growing, and you said ripe or rotten. Well, one of my pastors in Detroit years ago said, if you're not living, you're either dead, dying, or artificial. We were like, woo, that's a word. Because if you think about it, a plant, when we have a potted plant, the plant is limited by the size of the container. And once it gets to a certain size, if you keep it within that container, it cannot grow because it's limited, it's restricted. If we're going to walk in purpose, if we're going to live great lives, God is not going to have us stagnant. We have to grow. So when we move beyond that comfort zone, then that, you know, once we move, it's like, okay, it's uncomfortable. But when we're in that new place, that's no longer that place that made us uncomfortable. We're comfortable. And then it's time to grow to that next time. So we're always growing to that next level. Hopefully, we are, you know?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes. And you talked about being stagnant. And even water, when it's stagnant, it stinks. You know, and you being a doctor, you can attest the very layers of skin that's on our body change every 7 years. The hair on our heads change every 7 years. So for somebody to say, well, I've been like this all my life, I can't change. Have you heard that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and that's a story in itself. Yes.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
When people say I can't change, is inevitable. If we're living, again, that is change. There's nothing that's going to stay the same if it's living. And so for someone to say I can't change, no, you made a decision not to change. You made a decision, or you're making a decision that you would rather stay here where it's comfortable instead of going to your new place where things are. It's a decision for all of us. Do you want to stay where you are and miss out, or do you want to go and see what's there? I don't want to miss anything God has for me, but
I know that's right. I know that's right. And it's exciting.
Yes.
All right. And okay, Lori says, invite God back into your life and you can change. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
I mean, the Holy Spirit will lead you, guide you, because he said he's a light unto your feet and a lamp unto your path.
Yes.
And so if we trust that, then we can't help but move forward. You know, we're either moving forward or we're moving back. We're not standing still, you know. So
So change. You mentioned something earlier that I think is so key. You said that we talk about waiting, and that's one of the key things. Everything we do in life, think about it. We learn how to. We talk about faith. We learn how to pray. We learn how to praise and worship. We learn how to give. We don't just come out of the baptistry, being baptized when I know how to tithe or no so and so. We are taught these things. We're taught how to be generous. Waiting is one of the key things that's so important, learning how to wait, because waiting involves trust, waiting involves patience, and waiting involves being resting without whining and complaining. Think about it. Sometimes, come on, let me put my hand up. Yeah, sometimes I whine and complain, but sometimes like, okay, get it together, and why are you whining and complaining? And a mark of our growth is that we shouldn't be whining and complaining about the same things, and we should whine and complain continuously. We're human. Sometimes we'll go, oh, why me? But then it's like, okay, that's 5 seconds or 5 minutes, whatever. Now, what are you going to do? But waiting, when we learn how to wait in peace and rest.
Yes. Isn't that a beautiful thing when you can do that? And Felicia, she said, we serve an unlimited God, so why should we live our life limited?
Yeah.
Destiny is waiting for your arrival. Oh, I like that. Destiny is waiting for your arrival. Yeah. And then Lori, she says, I had to learn that sometimes no is an answer to your prayers.
Yes. That is because we talk about keys, right? So we talk about keys. Keys give us access. Keys unlock and lock. And we talk about doors that open and close. And right, we often think about, oh, I want that open door. Oh, yeah, open door. But we want to celebrate and be aware of the closed doors just as well, because the closed door, the no, is taking us away from what is not for us. That key locks it. That door is closed, locked, and we don't go down that path. That's maturity. I like that, Laura. Right? That's when we're walking. It's not my will, God, but it's your will. It's not my purpose, but it's yours.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lori hit him on something right there.
She did. Because I was in Ohio. I did not want to be in Ohio, and the Lord kept me there for 25 years, and I didn't want to be there, but he kept, every time I went to the word about leaving, he said, stay where you are. And there were doors that closed in other areas because that's where I needed to be. And so I had to learn to be patient and wait on the Lord. And he moved me. He was the one that moved me to Kentucky. He was the one that moved me to Atlanta. And I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing now if I were not in Atlanta. So, and then Lori, she says, thy will be done. Thy will be done. And hi, Tashina. Thank you for being here.
Yes, that's my
yes. She's awesome.
She is.
And she says closed doors are blessings too. Yes, they are. Yes,
definitely. Yeah. So we have to recognize that, because if we think about, like you mentioned, Vera, it's timing. We want to be in sync and align with God's timing. Just like, let's talk about a baby, premature. God designed us to grow and to be nurtured in the body for a certain period of time. If the baby comes early, that means the systems have not developed sufficiently to be able to live outside of the mom's body. If the baby comes what we call post dates, the baby gets bigger and the baby outgrows some of the, like the nutrients and the blood supply. So we don't want to be too early. We don't want to be too late, because we miss the fullness of what God has for us at the appointed place, at the appointed time.
Woo! I love it.
Yes, we have to be there. Yes.
Oh my! Now, Lori, she says you ladies are exactly what I needed tonight. You know what? We prayed for you to be here.
Yes.
So we're glad that you're here. Yes. And then she says, "Such pretty ladies! Oh, to God be the glory."
Yes. See, this was sister time.
Oh no! All right, she got shut out. She'll be back. I don't know what happened there. And then Tashana, Tashina says, "Hey, ladies, yes, 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 yes."
Bloop.
I
I
know.
know. See, that's like, okay, we're getting this word out. We are getting this
Yes,
word
we
out
are. Yes,
tonight.
we are. You are a
Yes.
liar, devil.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
We're getting it
yes.
out. Yeah. So we were
No,
talking. I'm sorry, go ahead, Vera.
no. What were you getting ready to say?
We were talking about we started this whole thing about women. We were talking about 40s, right? Like, there's some things that happen at 40. And so that time, the 40s are beautiful and amazing. And I think there are three points or three possibilities that each woman may face at 40. One is that she may be in her stride. And for me, that was me. Like I said, I've been on my journey and path since I was 10. So I knew what I was doing, and, everything from college and grad school and family and all of that. And so my career. Sometimes women may find that they didn't really know what they wanted to do. And I have a family member, and that's where she really helped me to understand that. She said, my 20s and 30s, I was still trying to figure some things out. So I tried a couple different things in careers. And she said I was about late 30s to 40s when I said, yeah, okay. So she had to pivot a couple of times. So you either, maybe you didn't really settle on what you wanted in your 20s and 30s. So you got to 40, you made that pivot. Maybe you knew what you want. So you were in your stride. I ran track too, right? So you get to that point and you're in your stride. So you're progressing. And then you also have the time when we're talking about promotion, where you like, I'm in my career, now I'm ready to go to the next level. I'm ready to start my job. My business, or add income streams. And so sometimes that may be because we said we want to do family first, right? We're going to have the babies. We're going to do some things. We're going to adopt, foster, take care of parents. And then we're going to do those things. And then a couple of years later, we want to definitely go all in. And that's part of, me too. I was able to stay home with the kids a little bit. So we're either progressing because we hit the stride, or we'll pivot, make that pivot. It's like, here I am now, or we're like, I'm ready for my next level. And so I'm looking for those things. So I wonder how many ladies out there tonight we have, which one describes them maybe. Are you progressing? Like I said, I ran track. I was a runner too. So you're in your stride. Did you make that pivot when you were 40, or are you at that stage where you're building your business, or you're adding some streams of income? Like,
Yes, tell us. We want to know. And with
Mm-hmm.
me, I grew up not knowing what my purpose was. And I remember asking God, what is my purpose? Why was I
Mm-hmm.
born?
Mm-hmm.
And had a job where I went to a 3-day training program.
Mm-hmm.
And this trainer, she was so enthusiastic and so bubbly, and something hit me in my stomach, and I went up to her and I said, I want to do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And she became my mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And and so I've been on the same path, the same path, but now it's been time to take it to another level,
Okay.
And so it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, well, first let me see what okay. Felicia says, she was speaking too much truth. She's making the devil mad. Preach, sister, preach. That's what happened.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just had a senior moment. I don't remember what I was going to say.
You were talking about the trainer. No, we're having such a good time. You were talking about the trainer. You said you were so excited and inspired by this trainer, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, and so I've been on this journey doing this for over 40 years. I'm working with companies, organizations, schools, and churches, and the Lord is leading me in another direction now. I'm pivoting because I realize the need to focus on parents and their children, because it's such it's needed. There was something else I was going to say, but I don't remember. So it'll come back. If it's meant for me to say it, it'll come back. But I wanted to let's talk about your children. And as a doctor, how did you balance and juggle being a parent, being a doctor, being a wife? Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, the first thing I would say, Mama, Juanita Harden was the inspiration. My mama, and we call her Mama. She has many names. She's Mama to me. My kids call me Mommy, but my mother's Mama. She said, I want my girls to be educated, but I want you to be a lady. So Mama made sure we knew how to take care of the house. When I say washing dishes, hanging clothes on the line, all of that. So we need to, she's like, yeah, okay, you're going to school, but you need to know how to do more than boil water. And she was serious about that. So those were things. We had chores. Anybody else have, my kids don't have chores like I did. I know, go figure, but we had chores. So I had the role models from my mother, her one and only sister. My aunt was an educator. She, had advanced degrees. She was a role model. I have my older sister had a sister-in-law. So those were some of my role models within my family. I had my daughter, my oldest is 27. I had her the last day of medical school. I kid you not. This was my last month. And I remember I was doing my pediatric rotation. I was pregnant, right? Pregnant. I told my two other colleagues, I was like, I'm tired. I'm ready to have this baby. I'm not coming back tomorrow. And went home, took a nap, and woke up and was in labor. So my daughter, literally, she went through that process with me. When I was first started, we commuted. I was at home going to school. My husband was in a different state. So my parents, God bless them, oh gosh, were wonderful. That's why my kids have been wrapped around their fingers. So there were times when literally, for example, I would come home and I would put Jasmine, she was my baby, in her high chair, and I would have my book studying, and we're at the kitchen table. So she was here. Or there were times when I was on call, my mother would say, you go home and you take your nap and then come back and get the baby. So I was fortunate. My parents weren't together, but we lived close. All of us lived close by. I had everything. It was the same thing. My mother said, don't even watch that baby before you come, because I had to leave at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I had two of everything. My mother was at the door. Bless her. Mama, I love you. With the baby, I would literally give Jasmine to her, and she would say, I see you when you get home. So my mom, my dad, my sisters, there were even times when I caught the bus because my mom didn't have a car for a period of time. She had my car. So when I tell you I know what it is, I caught the bus. So my family helped me to do this. So when I say that MD behind my name, this is a family thing. That's right. My family, in ways, this is the family thing. We did this together. So I learned how to balance, and, hubby was there, doing some things. And so goals, time management, saying no. Some things had to say no to.
That's awesome. And there is nothing like family. I didn't have my mom by the time my son was born, but my sister, Pearl, she was there. And there were times when she had to take care of my son for me because of the things that were going on in my life. And so, but there's nothing like family, having your family to support and be encouraging and to be there for you. It is so important.
Yeah.
It is so important.
Yeah. So it's nice. And we even joke, all of my kids at one point, I had 3, they wanted to be a doctor. And, that's a blessing too, when your kids want to emulate you in some kind of way. My mom was my role model to be a mom. And there were times, and I know this is real, I'm about to, really speak some truth. Being a professional woman is great, but when we have children and we work outside of the home, I would imagine many of us, I know I did, you have that moment where you say, I said, is this really worth it? I'm not with my kid. What am I doing? And so for me, whatever I did outside of the home, I had to do double when I came home. So for a year, I'm like, I still don't have a cleaning honestly, I don't. I was like, no, because I felt as though if I'm working outside of my home and I'm taking care of somebody else's kids or taking care of somebody else's family, I need my family to see me doing this. I need my family to see me cooking dinner, going to Walmart or doing things. So my mom was that role model, and she taught me how to love. We are fierce. We love passionately. We love fierce. It's like she was Mama Bear. Don't mess with Juanita's kids. Don't mess with Oliver's kids. So, yeah, I come from real good people.
That's wonderful. That is so wonderful. And it's so important. And as I hear your story, I think about so many kids that don't have that, that don't have that kind of support and that kind of love. And so hopefully parents hearing you understand how important, even if you have a career, even if you have a rigorous job, that time with your kids is so important. Now, you said you didn't really give them a lot of chores.
I did. I don't know. My sister laughs. Still not. She was like, what are you doing, Angie? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know what happened. Honestly, I don't, because when we come up, Mom and Daddy said something one time, maybe twice. There wasn't a number 3. There just wasn't. I don't know. But my kids don't. I don't know.
Well, I did just the opposite, but I was a single mom. So my son, he started vacuuming when he was 4. He started doing cooking with me when he was 9. He started doing his own laundry when he was in middle school. And that was because he didn't like the way I did his laundry. So
Okay.
it's like, okay, do it yourself. Okay. And so he learned all those things that traditionally women know, but he can cook, clean, do laundry, and all that stuff. But
Ooh.
he had to learn it because I was working full time and going to school and
Yeah.
trying to raise him. And I thank God for my sister because she was there for me. She's gone now. My mom's gone. And I miss them greatly, but they were there for me, particularly my sister Pearl. She was there. So, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, next thing.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So what we're going to talk about now?
All right. I want to talk about some of the things that's on your bio
Okay.
that I didn't read. Let me pull it up here. We talked about the horseback riding. Now you have several books, a couple of books out. Let's talk about those first, okay?
Yep. Okay, well, just two for now, but yeah, definitely have a lot in the incubator. So the one I think we'd really talk about today is the one I released a couple months ago, but I released a journal about 10 years ago that was Honey from Heaven, and it was a discipleship journal. I am an avid student, a reader, and so this was a way to put a place where you could have your Sunday school notes, your sermon notes, you could have a place for your prayers, and it was a spiral bound, and it was something that you could use for the year. These were things that I found to be helpful for me. And so I thought if people are students for me, because I had like the sermon notes, I had like 2 or 3 notebooks. I said, I can't do this always. And I put it together. So that was my very first experience with self-publishing. I did that and exciting. And so now I'm at my second publication, which is Picture Your Great Life, which is a workbook.
Okay, that is awesome. And you know what? Because I love taking notes when I'm in church, listening to the sermon. So a journal like that would be helpful. I need to get that journal from you.
Okay.
Because I take notes and then you end up losing. I mean, you put it on, you have the program, and I'm scribbling all over the program and trying to hold on to it and keeping it and all that. And then the scriptures and the prayers and everything that you mentioned. That sounds like a great book. How can people get that from you?
That one will be revised. So that one, the revision is not out, but that will be next quarter. Yep. So that definitely is something that God said. So stay tuned. I will be sure to let you know when that was coming. And I guess the other thing, honestly, I'm really kind of going back and forth because so many people are in the digital age. And that's really why I hadn't released it yet, because I was like, I'm in the era and I like pen and paper. That's how I really learn. You talk about affirmations and visualizations. So I write, but not everybody writes. So I'm like, okay, and it may be that there'll be a digital version, an ebook and a print. So I'm still listening to see what God wants me to do with that. But yeah, definitely 2022. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. And then Picture Your Great Life. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Okay. So this is a book. The first thing when you look at the cover, it's a workbook. So it's a PDF. So it's electronic if you just want to read it, but it's a PDF. And I designed it this way that you can print a couple pages or you could print the entire thing. When you first look at it, you go, man, that copy, that's like the cover's kind of boring. It's basic, literally. And I designed it that way because I want people to think about this as a canvas. White background, black words, and it's my picture in a picture frame. Because again, I'm saying I know what my life picture looks like, but I want the reader to picture. On each page in the first half, there is one principle and one reflection, and there's this blank space because I hope that the reader will write. This is what this is all about. You take it and you work this at your pace. You may, pick up one, like for example, the first page talks about abundance or the first principle. You reflect. You may sit down. I want you to write in it. Write down what God is speaking to you. Write down. You may take it to church and go, man, the preacher was right on my street. And to do that. So the first half of the book includes a reflection and a principle, one for each page. And then the middle says, basically, get ready to picture your great life. And then the second half, I talk about the vision, the compelling picture, how our emotions play a part. And then there are a couple of picture frames because I want the reader to look at this. Again, it's about picture your life. You know, it could be one scene, it could be you, it could be multiple scenes. And so it's like, I want you to get into the story. You know, I want this to be a launching point to say, yeah, there's some things I want out of life. Write the vision,
And
make
make
it
it
plain
plain.
so that
Yes.
you can run with it. It's for an appointed time, though it may tarry, wait, because it will surely come to pass. So you may pick it up and go, I remember, and I date things. I started this a couple years ago. I want you to date it too, because you may go, man, 2021, yep, I did it. And you look back and go, oh my gosh, manifest it. Answer
Yeah.
prayer.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's powerful. He
Mm-hmm.
said, and he also said, where there's no vision,
People perish.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Lori says, I always take a small notebook to church to write down things that strike me that I want to reflect on. This sounds right up my alley. You got a customer, girl.
I know. Okay. I hear you, God. Yes.
You got a customer.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, I mean, because I'm sure there are plenty of people that take notes when they're in church and listening to the message, and that having something contained like that, self-contained, and something that you can keep, so that you don't have all these pieces of papers and program books and all that kind of stuff. You know, it would be perfect.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what I started doing too? I had one bag just for church. And this is what I got from a church member before. And that's great. I had my Bible, I had my journal, whatever journal at the time, and I had notes. You know, you have your mints and you have your Kleenex, right? But literally I got into the habits, like everything I needed for church was right there. And I tell you, that really helped me in terms of organization. Like I say, I write a lot. And that's how, when things are downloaded to me, I'm writing. And because, you know, it's like, oh, where's this notebook? Where's that notebook? So if you don't have a bag yet, think about that. And maybe start with the dollar store. Just, you know, go maybe get one of these pretty bags at the dollar store, put a couple things in there. So when you go to church, you know, whether
your bag.
You got your bag. Mm-hmm,
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. That is
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome. And then you also talked about, let me pull this up again, because I don't want to miss anything about you. I don't.
Oh, you are so kind. Thank you.
Okay. You said, I asked for big things and my great life manifested. She describes herself as let's talk about life strategist. And you talked about being a goal setter, a go-getter, a teacher, inspirational speaker, coach, and encourager. So let's talk a little bit about those things.
Okay. So my parents started us off young about dreaming, setting goals. And I remember just being in high school, you know, like I said, I was always on the track, college bound, college educated, leadership, that type of things. But, you know, back then it was just a couple goals and put it down. And I learned early on, put on paper what you want. And so I knew, for example, it was a big deal for me that I wanted to be able to bless my family. If somebody came to me and said, I need that, I could write a check, glory to God, and wasn't missing. That was important for me. And I had the opportunity to family member, I think it was college. I said, oh, you need that for your tuition? Wrote the check. It wasn't, nothing was missing, nothing was lacking. That's your loan complete. Nothing was missing, nothing was lacking. And so I did that. I was able to bless my family. I was able to do that because I had a plan, because I had a strategy. So as I share with people, and that's part of the definition, what I have for my academy, my business, great living is living life's purpose on purpose. Not that it's just kind of haphazard, but we are intentional with it, in connection with the creator and in alignment with principles. So we have to have a strategy. Start with what you want. Hopefully that's going to line up with his purpose for us. And then you think about it and you start with your action steps. And then you build from there.
Awesome. Now, Lori says, I clean a church. You wouldn't believe what people bring to church. I know. I can just imagine. Imagine.
Lori is telling some stuff tonight, huh?
Yes, she is. And Felicia says, great tips. Thanks for sharing. Yes, these are great tips.
You're welcome. And, you know, some of these, you know, when you mentioned and asking me about my daughter. So for me, what let me say a couple of things that I'm sure a lot of people know, but maybe a lot don't know. Medicine is still a male-dominated profession. And women of color, whether we're African-American, Latino, what have you, we make up a very small percentage. So many times I am the only female and I may be the only individual of color. So as a female, and especially the way I was raised, and sometimes people may not be old school, I just didn't have a whole lot of, there are just certain things you respected the social boundaries. And so because I had a family at home, and again, I still did cooking, cleaning, everything, I needed to be efficient. When I'm at work, and I'm so thankful for my support system, I can compartmentalize. It's like, okay, I'm home, but when I leave the house and when I'm going to the job, now all of a sudden it's Dr. Harden-Mack. And when I'm in that mode, I have that coat on, I'm so-and-so, I'm focused, I'm doing that. I know my family is taken care of. So along the way, I've had to develop strategies. I had to have things so that I can function optimally when I am Dr. Harden-Mack, because I have to be on. But when I leave that office, I have other things, and I'm, and like I said, we're real. It ain't none of that. When I say ain't, I meant to say that, it is like I'm sister, I'm sister, I'm sis, I'm baby sis, I'm Ange, I'm bestie. My best friend is named Angela too, so we both call each other Ann. My aunt, before she died, she was like, baby, I love you. This is one who was educated. She said, but you always going to take out my trash when I come home. That was one thing. She kept me humble. Yep. Came home from college. Sweetie pie, you know where the trash is. Go ahead and take it out. So having those strategies are important to keep everything organized, to get things done, because without it's like, what's happening?
Yes, that is so, that great advice. Great advice. It really is. And you're phenomenal.
Thank you.
You are phenomenal. And I appreciate you. I can't believe we've got like 9 minutes.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It's been wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So just keep talking. One more.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay. So I think one of the things, I had such a, I met Vera last week. We were participating in the Success Conference. And when I tell you it was beautiful, it was wonderful. I enjoy the sister time. I have sisters. I have sorority sisters. So like I said, I have cousins. I'm close. And because I work in a profession where there aren't as many women necessarily on my level, I appreciate and I enjoy the time when I can kick back and I can relax with my sisters. I love encouraging people. One of the things that I get a kick out of, I have a couple of people like in my inner circle, my accountability partners and my girls and my iron sharpen iron girls. And there are times when I just send a text and say, hey, love you. Hey, I'm thinking of you. How may I serve you today? What would you like for me to pray about for you? And these are my girls. These are my go-to. My bestie, we've been friends since high school. When I tell you she has my back, when I tell you I have her back, and we can be real, and the people where I can be, when I'm Dr. Harden-Mack, I'm Dr. Harden-Mack. When I'm Bible teacher, when I'm intercessor, when I'm prayer warrior, I'm there. People know, hey, I can call Sister Angela and I can pray and she will pray with me. And when I'm, all of these other roles in my life, I'm there. And so it's so amazing. It's so important, this time and making these connections.
Yes.
And to be able to celebrate, I'm here on the platform for my sister, being able to celebrate and lift her up and help her and celebrate what you're doing. This is your platform, celebrating you, what you're doing. I get to do that. I get to celebrate you. I am thrilled about that. I'm like, yes, God.
We have this connection. I just, we do. And so it's like we've known each other for a while. And that's beautiful. Yeah. Now, Lori says, what is Dr. Harden-Mack's practice? Where is your practice?
I am in Detroit, Michigan. So I'm in Motown, and I'm a specialist. So I am working as an obesity medicine physician. So I'm a weight management specialist. That's all I do right now. Help individuals to understand body weight, help individuals to understand how to look at different therapies in order to improve health through improving nutrition and weight in particular.
I want to talk about that for a minute,
okay,
because that is important. Now, Lori says, what is the name of her book?
Yes, it's called Picture Your Great Life, and the subtitle is 21 Principles and Reflections for Great Living. My website is streaming at the bottom. It is available on the website. It's a download. So again, and it's on sale now. I did this price for the conference and some other things. So you want to get it now while it's hot. Remember, it's electronic, it's a workbook. So livegreatlives.com. Go right on, click it, it downloads, and you have it. Yes.
Get the book, get the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then she says, "Oh, thank you so much." She says, "I think you're both terrific. Thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate
Yes.
that." Now let's talk about obesity.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 5 minutes.
Okay. Yes.
And this is an important topic because people are dying because of their diets and how they're not eating healthy. And so I want you to kind of touch base on some nuggets, some ideas, some things that you might be able to share, and particularly for those who are struggling, because people that are obese, in many cases, they don't want to be obese.
Right,
it's a struggle.
right,
It's a struggle, and it's a challenge.
Right.
And so what kind of feedback and suggestions and encouragement can you give?
Perfect. Yep. So I'm going to do this in a couple minutes. Obesity is real. It is a chronic disease. And you're right. It is a challenge. This is not willpower. This is not about discipline. I tell patients, we talk about the biology, all of the science, and it's very complex. And we talk about behaviors, things that we can learn. There are specialists like myself across the country where you can go and get compassionate care that is patient-centered. So help is available. Nutrition is important. But what I tell people is a couple of things. Don't feel as though you have to do everything at one time. It is a journey. It is a process. And I shared with the patients, I was on the clock until about 5 today. And I told the gentleman, I don't tell people that it's all or nothing. I'm real. I want to keep it simple and I want to keep it manageable for my patients. Let's start where you are. And then I want to help you. I will make real suggestions. So if you're eating a lot, let's look at where you can cut back. If you're drinking a lot of your calories, let's look how you can cut out the soda pop. If you're drinking 4, let's cut down to 2. If you're drinking a lot of sugary beverages, a lot of cream and sugar in your coffee. If you're eating, certain foods, let's see if you can make it a healthier thing. The electric pressure cooker is wonderful. The crock pots are wonderful. Things grill. I didn't say you had to give up your chicken. Let's just don't eat everything double dip, crunch dip. I like that too. I'm keeping it real. When you want to focus on your goals, let's see how you can have some nutrition things that support that. And I'm about real time. And my patient, literally today, he said, Dr. Harden-Mack, thank you so much. The way you said it, he said, you helped me to understand it. I can see that this is doable. So that's what I want to do. And moving. So if you're on my site, that's the other thing I do at least once a week now. I like to go on and actually post my time when I'm running on a treadmill or I'm walking, because we got to move, So if you dance, and you're probably going to see a video coming up, I'm going to post, I'm going to do a little Hawaiian dance or something to say, because this is important. You got to move. We have to move, walk, jog, dance. Do it because it increases and helps. It helps your blood pressure, blood sugar, and also weight. Anything else you want me to mention, Vera? Is that I know I'm trying to get some good stuff in a time.
That's great. Okay, Lori says, does intermittent fasting work?
Anything may work for certain people, so it may. So it is one of the plans. I think it is probably one of the easier ones to follow. So if it works for you, good fit, that could be great. The 16-8, remember the 8 hours eating window or fat feasting, and then the 16 hours now, but you could do 14-10, and there's the 5 days on, 2 days with the lower. So a number of things, great information. Get it from a reputable source. Please don't always rely on your sister or girlfriend around the corner. They don't know stuff. I'm telling you. So, but there are some really good things there. Yes.
That's wonderful. And last year when I went for my annual, I was borderline high blood pressure. Okay. Now, I said to my doctor, because I'm not on any medications, I don't want to be on any medications. And so I asked her, what can I do to lower it myself? And she told me about turmeric. And so I started taking that. And also for inflammation, sugar is not good. It is a poison to our system. So I eliminated that from my diet. And I do use raw sugar. If I'm using a creamer in my coffee, I don't put sugar in it because that's the sugar. But this year when I went,
Yay!
I had lost a few pounds. And just
Wonderful.
losing a couple of pounds brought my blood pressure back down to normal. Back down to normal. And so just lose. I mean, you don't have to be, you know, I mean, you don't have to try to lose everything all at one time, like you said, but you know, and portion plates, you know, instead of getting using a big plate, use a smaller plate for your food. And, you know, and things like that can help as well.
Yes.
Felicia, she says, great host, great guest, great show. Thank you.
Thank you, Felicia. Look, you're right. Great guests. So they have been great. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Thank you guys for all your feedback and everything. You're going to have to come back.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes. So look forward to it. Thank you.
Yes. Well, listen, thank you. I want you to please stay here for a minute, and I'm going to shut us down. But I just want to thank you all for listening. Yes. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Angela Harden-Mack. I want to thank you for all the nuggets that you gave. This is Thanksgiving, and I am thankful for you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for those of you that are traveling, I pray for traveling mercies for you. That the Lord surrounds your car or the plane, the train, or whatever mode of transportation, that it is surrounded with angels and that the Holy Spirit precedes you.
Yes.
I will be on the road myself heading to Ohio. So I'm excited about that too. So again, happy Thanksgiving. Count your blessings. And be thankful. All right. God bless. We'll see you next week.
The Vera and Thomas Show. 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 Let's talk about it. 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 On the Vera.
Okay, bye-bye.